All right, what's up guys? It's been a long time, but thank you again to all the new subscribers, all the comments. I really appreciate it. If I haven't commented back, it's because we've been in a very busy wedding season, but I really do appreciate the support, guys. So continue to comment and like, and I'm still looking to bring you more content, more behind the scenes, more how we do things, kind of breaking down our process behind how we do weddings, the films and whatnot. But all in all, thank you again for all the support. So today's topic is going to be about something that can be a little bit intimidating at first, but the more you do it, the easier it can get. And that's posing. For me, I know this was something that was specifically intimidating because, you know, talking to people is something that you have to get used to, giving direction, being in a leadership position. And most times on a wedding day, people are looking to you for guidance. And you know, if you haven't done it a lot, it can be a little intimidating because, you know, you can fumble over your words, you can kind of be on the spot, forget, freeze up. But over time, you kind of get a system of what poses you want to do for different times of the day. So I'm going to share with you some of the tips that have helped me over time and kind of save you that trouble of going through that. So I'm going to break this down into kind of 3 different parts because there's posing for several different situations. So there's posing, of course, for just the bride. There's posing for the couple together, and there's posing for bridal party photos, which is everybody together. So of course for the bride, my advice on posing is to, before the day starts, kind of go in with 3 or 4 different poses you want to start with and work from there. 3 or 4 different poses can give you a lot of different photos, and the more you start to pose the bride, I'm confident and almost certain that more poses will come to you. But if you have 3 or 4 good poses that you can work with and then change different locations with that poses, you'll have plenty of photos to work with when the day is done. So of course, you know, the big things with everybody, guys, girls, is that we don't know what to do with our hands. The great thing about a wedding day is that you'll always have a bouquet with the bride, so there won't be any question as what to do with the hands. For whatever reason, if the bouquet hasn't arrived at the wedding venue yet, there's other little things that you can do with the hands. If they have a nice flowy gown on, I'll tell the bride something like pinch the size of your dress and flow slightly from left to right to really give the image some movement. Another thing you can do is to have her kind of mess with the earrings and fiddle with the earrings, not to actually undo them, but to put her hands on her earlobe and kind of look softly out a window. If you can get near a window, this looks really, really good. And there's other things that you can do with the hands, but these are just a few things to do if you don't have a bouquet. But hopefully you'll always have a bouquet for the bride to hold and do other things with. Now, I'm a big fan of movement and action. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have the bride start in one position or pose, have her do different things. And some of my best shots actually come between those transitions between one pose to another. For example, I have the bride holding the bouquet, looking over her shoulder towards the ground, and I'll have her slowly look up at me. So I'll say, hey, have your bouquet right at your belly button level with 2 hands holding it, looking over your shoulder towards the ground. I'll snap a few pictures, and then I'll instruct her to slowly look up in my direction. And as she transitions from looking at the ground towards me, you'll get some really, really good shots. And another tip there that you notice is that telling the bride where to look is an important part of these posing ideas. It's very simple changes in the pose, but offers some major differences and really great photos and results that you'll get at the end of it. One more tip that I have that you can give your bride before you start is that instead of standing straight up and looking kind of stiff, you can instruct the bride to rest all of her weight on one leg, so either the left or the right, almost like you're popping the leg. So this kind of creates an S curve naturally in the bride. So instead of being stiff and standing straight up, they kind of stand to the side and pop one of their legs, and it just flatters the body a little bit more than standing straight up. Now for the couples, another tip here, it's not as technical, but remember to be light. And this also goes for all different poses throughout the day, but to be light, to be firm in your directions, but not be overbearing. You know, like I said, these guys are looking for you for direction. So be confident in what you're saying, but also be patient. You know, this is something that not everybody is used to, not everybody is natural with. And, you know, you can kind of set the tone by offering direction, but also having patience with your couple if they're not getting the first time. So big things for the couple is to remember that you do not want any gaps in between them. You kind of want them to fit together like a puzzle. So if they're standing together looking at you, I always tell the couple to get belly button to belly button. Now this is a general command that I give them, but this is a general thing that I say. Sometimes there might be a height difference, but in general, have them close any gaps in between them. Also, if they're looking at you, have them touching heads. So what this will do is get rid of any depth of field difference so that one subject's in focus and the other one isn't. If they're touching heads, you can focus either on the bride or the groom, but they'll both be in focus. Now, I won't go into all the poses that you can do with the bride and groom because there's hundreds of them, but you know, a simple one that I'll do is I have them both facing each other, looking at me and touching heads. And from this, you can start while them both looking at you. You can instruct the bride to continue to look at you while the groom gives her a soft kiss on the temple. And then you can have them both looking at each other, touching foreheads, touching noses, or even giving a soft kiss to each other. Now that's 5 different poses right there. And there's plenty of them that you can do, but that just shows you with one pose how you can get different variations of that pose and get so many other photos of the bride and groom. Now my last tip, of course, is for formal photos of the bridal party. So this is the guys together and the girls together. Another tip that isn't technical here, guys, is to, again, keep it light. You're dealing with a lot of people, and be patient. You know, I'm sure that emotions are high either after the ceremony or before the ceremony, whether or not, depending on what the timeline is that you're working with, but regardless, emotions are going to be high. So be patient if they don't hear you the first time. Again, be firm, but be patient with everybody as well. So what I like to do is I like to start with everybody first. Since everybody's giddy, since everybody's happy, I like to capture all that excitement. Some photographers might not want to do that. Of course, I have an assistant, which is my wife, but I love having everybody together and capturing that excitement. So like I said, the hardest thing to do is to relay what you want the couple or the party to do. So a simple command or a simple gesture that you can say to the bridal party is to get in the same order that you were in at the altar. So this gets rid of any confusion of where to stand, where to go. By now, hopefully everybody's had a rehearsal. This will kind of help make it easy on you as far as giving people commands on where to stand and where to go. For all the guys, you know, depending on what side they're on, I like to have them with their left hand over the right or right hand over left. Sometimes I might have them put the hand that's closest to me in the pocket and the other hand on the lapel. But just make sure everybody's uniform, make sure nobody has sunglasses on and everybody else doesn't. I always like to have that top button buttoned up so there's nobody's suit jacket wide open or hanging off. For the girls, simple command is to have everybody's bouquets at the belly button. And if you have somebody that's taller in the group, just make a small adjustment so that it's not higher up than everybody else's. And of course, the more you do this, the more confident you get. Another simple command that you can do that'll make a big difference and look really good is to stagger the bridal party. So an easy way that you can say this is to have every other person on the girl side and the guys to switch. So every other girl will go to the guy's side and vice versa. You know, a lot of times, usually people don't really know what's going on until we finish setting up everybody and it looks really good. But this one, of course, like I said, you know, it might be a little intimidating because you're trying not to trip over your words, but don't worry about embarrassing yourself or stuttering. You know, you're not going to be perfect. Actually, it might help to kind of laugh at yourself and not be so serious. But you have to kind of step out there at some point and have confidence, because the more you do it, the better you'll get. And the more you say these things, the less you'll stutter, the less you'll trip over your words. And all in all, guys, my last tip, and I've kind of preached this throughout the video, is to be confident that you're a professional. I know that in this day and age, we see so many YouTube videos of people who, you know, give these tips and they have like 50,000 views, and you're wondering to yourself, well, I don't have that much of a following, I can't be a professional. You are a professional. You do this for a living. Even if you haven't been doing it for a long time, this is your craft. So all you have to do is know more than the person that you're instructing. That to me lets me know that you have some form of expertise that you can relate to other people. So be confident that you know what you're doing, and everything else will take care of itself. I hope these tips help you guys, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying the content that we've been bringing you. Feel free to like and subscribe. It always helps us out, and we can't wait to bring more content, guys. Have a great day.